Hello everyone, Julia Sheehan here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Today I'd just like to do this simple little card with you. It is actually not done with the Dragonfly cutout, but what's come out of its wings, and it's cut into the cardstock, so you can see that's actually all glued on there. And that was the look I was going for. Now, I did do some variations on it. I thought, all right, I'll put the Dragonfly on there, see how it looks. And I've offset it. I deliberately didn't put it straight because it just wouldn't stand out anymore. It just covers up too much, and I didn't want that. So I just put it at a slight angle to what I'd already done, and you can still see the depth of the wings there. It's to give the illusion of it lifting up out of the paper, really, so the Dragonfly can fly off. And yeah, just popped the sentiment on there. I want the card to be quite bold and stark. I didn't want heaps of bling on it or extra things. This one is just as it is. I think it's really good for something like a sympathy card, and I did this one with the flourishing phrases. And I think you don't need a lot on a card like that. And I did have some other ideas to go with it, and I'm not absolutely 100% happy with my sentiment up on dimensionals. I don't think it needs it. I mean, it doesn't harm it. It's still a nice card, but I also had the thought of actually using the cutout and popping it back on here as an offset as well, and then just popping a little bow around it like they're a bunch. And I think that would look really nice as well. And you could even set this up slightly on some very small dimensional pieces, and I think that would look nice as well. The other thing I did do, I used a retired die just to try it out. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, I'll bet I know which one she used. And yes, it is the Rose Garden one. And I'm sure many of you had it. And I think it looks beautiful with it. And I did the sentiment straight onto the card. I really like it like that. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to keep this Dragonfly one as simple as possible. So all you need is your cardstock, 8 1/4 by 5 7/8 and burnished, a piece of the gold foil cardstock or sheet, 5 6/8 of an inch by 4 inches, and then another piece of the Whisper White. And for this particular card, I use the thick Whisper White. I think it looks so much better sitting on the card with the thick Whisper White. And that is 5 5/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Dragonfly first. Now, I've got my old Big Shot here. I've had it forever, long before I joined Stampin' Up, so I still use it while it works. And I'm just going to pop that in there. Sorry for that noise. My base, this is getting very bad, and I've got to get a new one, but unfortunately Stampin' Up don't have them anymore. And anyway, I'm going to pop that on there. And the Dragonfly, I'm just going to put across the cardstock, making sure that it doesn't go over the edges. It needs to be fully within the card. And then I'll just pop, and you can put it on as much angle as you like. Oops, I'll just move that up a little bit more. I just don't want it too close to the edge. There we are. Happy with that, I think. Pop that down and we'll run it through. Now, I run it through a couple of times only because I want the pieces to stay in the die at this point. So, I'm sorry if the lighting's not real good tonight, but I broke my lamp, one of them. So, okay, so that's how it's going to come out. And then we're just going to take the outer part of the Dragonfly away and keep that over there. Alright, so Now I'm just going to do my sentiment on there, and as I said, I'm going to do it straight onto the cardstock tonight. So I'm using Thank You Very Much, or Thank You So Much, I think it is. And that's the one I'm going to use tonight. Thought I'd lost it for a minute, but there it is. So thank you so much. Just stamp that up. And I'm going to put that about there. Just press that down. Hopefully it's not too crooked. It's very hard when you can't get over the top of what you're doing. Okay, pop that on there. Okay, just excuse the noise. Cover up my ink while I'm waiting. I'm doing this from the underside because I've had a bit of trouble with my embossing powders lately, and I don't know whether it's the humidity in the air here or whether my embossing powder might be getting a little bit old. I'm just not sure, but I find when I do it from underneath it comes out better, and so that's come out really well. Alright, so next step is just to put this card together, so I'm just going to do it like that. Put my gold foil on. Just using my Tombow. That's fairly good. And then I'm going to put this part of the Dragonfly on, and just be careful that you get your glue on around here. You don't want that to lift. Just those little point pieces. Go, just go around there. Now, someone said last night, I did this on Facebook, and they said, oh, why don't you just use the Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets? And yes, I could have quite easily, except the point of me doing doing it this way was for the people who don't have the adhesive sheets, who possibly can't afford them, or don't want to just, you know, like use them up for things that they could do quite easily like this. And so if you've got the adhesive sheets, by all means, you can do it that way, but this is for anyone who just doesn't have them, can't afford them, and would still like to do something like this. And then you just press that down, making sure all the pieces go down, and then I just get a little scrap piece of paper, an old stylus I have from many years ago, and I also use this pokey tool that we know it's not going to be in the new catalogue either, and I find it's very handy for things like this. And I'm just going to bring in my die now, and I'll do a side and then I'll do the other side. So I just dip in the glue and pop it in the pieces. Simple as that. Don't overdo it so it all squeezes out the sides, but make sure that you've got enough in there that it definitely will glue down. And I find this stylus really handy for something like this. This will probably dry out a little bit quicker with all the lights on it, but you do have time when you're just doing it on your own. Now if you get to some and you sort of feel like you're going to go over the edges and you don't really want to, that's where this one comes in handy, because you just get a little bit on the end and you can dab it along there as well. Just lay it down a little bit if you want to so that it gets the glue on, but I find that works quite well too, especially for the tiny little pieces. You can be a little bit more accurate, and if you think you've put too much on, take a little bit off. I think I have there, so I'll just scoop that off, and then I've just got this bit to do. Like that. And I'm just going to wipe that off. I think I've got all the pieces, but it doesn't really matter if you don't. And then pop that into its place in the card. I don't push it the whole way down, I just have it slightly raised, and then just gently, and you can use your stylus for this for the bigger pieces, just pop them out straight down onto your card. Try not to move them if you're pushing them out. And then see, my little pokey tool works for the thinner ones. And I can see some haven't left the die completely. So I'm just going to go back over those. One there. And there. And then you can lift it up and you can see there's a couple left back in here, so all I need to do is to put that in again. I mean, you've got the perfect guidelines there. Got a little bug flying around tonight. Quite annoying. And I think I've still got one here. So I'm just going to pop it back in so I can see it when I turn it over. There it is. Wants to annoy me tonight. It's the one I wanted. And that one. There we are. And they're in. So now I'm going to go and do the other one, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's the both sides done, and then I can just pop my Dragonfly out of this after if I want to use it. But there it is. That's my card, and it I think looks really effective. It's nice and simple, and you can also put just a nice little sentiment inside here. But I think the effect of it, the simpler the better, and yeah, I really like that. So I hope you have a go at it. If you don't have adhesive sheets, this is the way to go, because it's quite an easy and simple thing to do, and you can just pick out so many dies to do it with. A lot of your flowers and things like that are going to come up beautifully. So anyway, that's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If anyone would like to turn on the notification bar and subscribe to my channel, I would love that. I'd love you to always give me a comment and let me know, what you think of the card, or what you would do differently, or whether you liked the sentiment raised or not. I personally think for this card that maybe I like it better just nice and simple. But anyway, I'd love to hear your comments if anybody would like to leave any, and I'll be back again next week. And I'm always looking for ways to try and help out if you don't have some of the things that you need, because I know not everybody can afford them or need to have them, and sometimes you have to make choices about the things you want to buy. And yeah, so you have to go that way. So that's my job, is to try and help in that respect. So until next time, have a wonderful week, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.